And you're listening to the Anonymous Learning Media Podcast for the first time in a few weeks. Anybody, how you guys doing? This is a good old, again, I'm Grandmaster Revan, and you're watching the Anonymous Learning Media. This is both double duty, podcast and a vlog. Good morning. Now, now the question is, do we have a Fourth Amendment protection of our smartphones? That's a good question there. And it has been a good legal question that sorry, that's pretty much wanted to really get down to, you know, warrant to for an officer to search your home. You need a warrant to have your car searched. There has to be a legality of a warrant also for your phone, because like your home and like your vehicle, there's something in there. now your phone isn't just a little best friend, but it's also your own little worst enemy. I've said this many times on my other videos. Now, there is a big war between the governments, our government, and the tech companies, like Apple, for example. Back a couple years ago, there was a shooting that happened in San Bernardino that killed a few people, injured I don't know how many people, but there's up in the numbers. And the alleged shooter had a Apple iPhone 5C. Ever since Apple released iOS 8, the iPhone became a go-to device for anybody. Now, Google did the same thing when they updated their software at the same time as Apple did. And so there was this big legal fight between the FBI and Apple. FBI asked Apple to create a backdoor. Tim Cook said no. We're going to protect our consumers, our customers. So no. Sorry, no, not going to happen. So the FBI went to the courts, got a warrant, or try to get a warrant or something like that, to get Apple to unlock this phone that belonged to the alleged shooter who had a Apple iPhone 5C. Apple stuck to the customers' privacy. We're not going to do that. So since Apple didn't budge, Apple didn't budge. Uh-oh, looks like connection's been unstable. Please try again to reconnect. Holy crap. But there's Apple didn't budge. Apple didn't budge. So former director of the FBI, James Comey, took this phone, spent $1.3 million. That's 1.3 for anybody. That's a lot of money, $1 million, Especially 1.3 million just to unlock this phone. But now the courts and police officers are saying you ain't got a Fourth Amendment. But the Fifth Amendment just protects you from pretty much incriminating yourself. Now, phones these days have passcodes. Come on. This is my Motorola Moto E6. This is I got this yesterday. No thumbprint, only passcode. But phones now these days have facial recognition cameras or whatnot, and so phones have not just thumb, but passcode, but also the facial recognition the thumb when the 5 came out. When the 5S came out. Well, I think the whole iPhone 5 thing came out. 5C and 5S. This is the SE. It has the thumb to unlock the passcode. Now, law enforcement really hates the smartphone. They hate it. They hate it to the past because phones are now encrypted. They're easily locked because the user of the phone have really upped the game of security and privacy. Now, the question is, do we have a Fourth Amendment right on our phones? Sure, we do. That's like you need a warrant to search someone's computer for any evidence. You need a warrant. You need a warrant to search a home, person, papers, and effects, even your vehicle, because they could assume that you were part of a crime, you were part of something, and they stopped you and they assume that you're the person involved, and your vehicle was at the scene of the crime. But they need probable cause and articulate suspicion, or that reasonable. Basically, they need proof. They need probable cause to search a vehicle. But if they can't do that, they would have to impound your vehicle until they could get a search warrant to search a vehicle. And if they can't find nothing, they have to give you your car back. Suppose that. But in case of your phone, now the cell phone has been around since the early 80s, right around 81, 82, 83, when the very first cell phone call was made from a car. The gentleman was in his car, picked up his phone, made the call. That was the first time a call was ever made on a cell phone. But since then, cell phones have evolved over time, and over time, new technology came around between 2000 and 2007. The tech game has been launched. The tech war has been launched, not just over computers, but also the cell phone industry, even the gaming industry. But we'll talk about that later on. But the cell phone has been really evolved. It is the smartphone is the technical a high tech Swiss Army knife. Yeah, your smartphone can do a lot. I'm gonna sorry, let's throw this down here. I'm going to list them off. Pretty much caller ID, voice mail, a voice recording, voicemail, text, email, use of the internet, take pictures, video, notes, note taking, a lot, file downloading, file sharing, all this good, insane stuff it has done over the years. But you have, I mean, in this little device, you do a lot on this. But there's also a legality of it. Technical has evolved over time. The smartphone evolved over time. You know. But I'm gonna tell you, you do have a Fourth Amendment protection. Your phone is your property. You have pictures, videos, your intimate moments on your device. Phones, some phones that has like this one. This is a Windows phone. This is a Windows 10. It's an Alcatel One Touch Fish. Alcatel One Touch Fish XL with Windows 10. I say there's no thumb. There's no thing on it. It's turned off. I'm going to show you here. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Yeah, you see it kind of shipped over time, but still work. Good phone. But the Supreme Court states that you have a Fourth Amendment right protection when it comes to your phone because there's information, there's your data, there's a lot of things that are on your device that do come into question. If there's a crime, but also you have individuals that do film and they film you. It's like there's a stop, and someone stops and sees an individual that's stopped by a police officer, and they are being recording from a distance where it's fair enough where you can film, record a city official. It's been approved by the Supreme Court in all of its states. But some would disagree with that. But that's because they don't want to admit. This is my Windows phone. This is my Windows phone. That's the Windows 10. Still works, by the way. Still works. And came out right around 4 or 5 years ago or so. About 4 years ago. And to unlock it, you need to just pop a passcode and stuff like that. So, if you were stopped and the cop wants to see your phone, to take your phone, they want you to give them the passcode. You don't have to. You're not obligated. You're not really obligated to unlock your device. And you are protected under the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. And again, this is my Motorola Moto E6. This is a phone I got yesterday after I paid off my other phone to because the LG and the HTC phones get hot really easily. They get hot really easily. But I had mine for a little over a year and a half. Then all of a sudden it started to really get hot. I don't know how or why or what. So this phone doesn't have the thumb scan. Does it have the facial thing? I don't know. I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't go for it. I'm more of a passcode kind of guy because passcodes for me is a lot better than a thumb or a face. Because last time I looked at a phone, my face broke it. And just kidding, just kidding. But no, the technology has really evolved on on the phone because you didn't see. I mean, the idea of a facial recognition or the thumb bio is restored on your device, and even though you want to move it, sorry, it's in that device for good or whatnot, because the company records that thumbprint. That's why I use passcode. Passcodes for me it's a lot easier because it's encrypted and it's pretty much um, better. I like passcode. I don't try. I mean, I like the thumbprint. It unlocks your device very easily, but the passcode, I think it's um, pretty much. I like the idea of the passcode, but you are protected under the Fourth Amendment on your device, on your phone. It's like your home, your papers, basically your whole self, and in your phone. And I do believe that. I do believe in that. You are protected under the Fourth Amendment. And I talked about. Um, I did video last on a review of my phone here. This is my Motorola Moto E6, and I got it for $150. Paid outright. Didn't want to finance it. I want to pay it outright. And I feel like this is a good phone. It's pretty good. It's really enjoyable. It's really at a it is a good phone. I like it. I've had it for today's my second day, and it is a good device, good phone. It's Android. It has the Snapdragon processor, Qualcomm Snapdragon processor. I don't know if it. I think it runs off of the Android Oreo, and because I mean, different phones that Android comes out with, that the Android that Google comes out with, whether it's Alcatel, Motorola, HTC, whatever, LG, whatever it is, are on different OS systems. My HTC Living Life, they're run off with Oreo, and that's like a year and a half old, or a couple years old and stuff like so. Um, but I've heard stories that was that went through the courts. And one of the cases was that a individual was stopped, and he was a known, I don't know if it was a alleged known drug dealer or a gang member or something like that, and they searched his phone and without a warrant, and they violated his Fourth Amendment right to the Constitution, his rights. And there's another case where they did the same thing. The individual was stopped. I don't know what the crime was or whatnot, but again, same scenario. They went through his phone and they downloaded a lot of his contacts and whatnot. And again, they violated this person's rights to the Fourth Amendment. And these two individuals filed a lawsuit. And actually, I don't know if they won or not, but the Supreme Court states that you cannot violate the person's Fourth Amendment, even if it's a home, vehicle, computer, or even a smartphone. You still need a warrant to search the person's device, and you have to respect their rights under the Fourth Amendment. For years, police departments have tried to get around the Fourth Amendment, make up some stupid shit. And I've personally never been stopped. I've never been searched by a cop. Never been any of that at all. Because I gave no reason to give a cop a reason to search me or whatnot, or my phone or whatever, because I don't drive. I like a good walk. Good cardio. Walking is a good cardio thing. But you are again protected under the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution, and I mean, this comes from the lower courts. Lower courts would cherry pick any law or try to look for a law that they could try to really get to. And got a message here. Got a message. Let me see here. Message here. Message. That's a pretty good ringtone there. And but what's amazing about technology today, that it's become more advanced today than it did in the 90s, 80s. I mean, back when the military built the first when the government built the first supercomputer. I mean, this thing was huge, size of a freaking car, and it analyzed. Could it be hacked? No. The only time you were got in contact with the computer is that if you're working in the office. or if you work in government, say the agencies or up in D.C. or on the military. And it wasn't until the 1970s that the home computer came into play. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak built the first home computer from the garage, and the Apple One, which is actually worth a lot of money, it's still intact, and so far and so forth throughout history. Technology evolves over a time period, over time, and a long process, really, long process. But it was worth it, really. Um, I mean, there was huge demand of tech companies being forced to collaborate with the U.S. government, especially the FBI or and the CIA. They tried to Apple tried to resist because Apple, with their computers, they're becoming more advanced over time, and Steve Jobs didn't want to collaborate with the government because, like, Apple, he wanted Apple to be an independent uh, company because anything they have. I mean, I mean, really amazing work they did. You know, they did the iPhone for example, and this is my iPhone 5S, and they did a damn good job with it. You know, they did a really good job with the iPhone and everything else. So it's really amazing on how. I mean, Microsoft did pretty good on their computers and stuff like that, and I mean a really good job. And I would say that it's becoming a really interesting evolvement. And if we did not compete around the world, other companies, it's like, dude, you have to really understand that it is a big, big. Um, what I could say is it's really insane, freaking insane. Um, and so it's becoming a long road, and a huge. Okay, got a. Oh, it's a battery thing. It's a battery thing. It's 50%. So I'm gonna go ahead and then charge it here, and let's there you go. Okay, good. But the legality of. I mean, you have the Prism program. You know, a lot of these tech companies are involved. You know, Yahoo and Apple and Microsoft and Google and Facebook, all that sort of stuff like that. But when it comes to the devices themselves, computer, tablet. Now, tablet, by the way, smartphones, you name it. Um, Again, you know, you are protected. You are protected under the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution. It's the Bill of Rights, and law enforcement again has been trying to get around the Fourth Amendment because to them a warrant is just a piece of paper, just a piece of paper. But still, it may be a piece of paper, but the Constitution is the law of the land. Even as a law enforcement officer, you still have to follow the law, just like everybody else. You still have to follow the law. You cannot ignore the laws. You may not like it, but it's there for a purpose and it's there for a reason. It's there of the people, for the people, and by the people. It ain't of the corporation and government, for the corporation and government, and by the corporation and government. It's of the people, for the people, by the people. Straight up. No bullshit. Big time, pig time. No bullshit. And in cases, okay, there's cases. There's for again FBI versus Apple versus FBI. There's so much there. This should be talked about in the law in a university law class, law class, law school, because what the FBI wanted Apple to do was build a key to where they could get into the phone of this alleged shooter of San Bernardino. The phone is a iPhone 5C. Apple said no. We're not going to violate the privacy of our consumer. Okay. It's very simple. It's very interesting case here. Apple said no. Because Apple's fear was if they did this, the FBI could get into every single iPhone in the country, even around the world. And they could siphon up people's personal data, personal metadata. Take everything. Phone records, text messages, emails, everything. Apple said, no, we're not going to do this. We ain't going to do this. We're not going to violate because we don't even have the key to unlock their device. FBI was pissed because they wanted to get into the phone of this alleged shooter who owned this iPhone 5C. Since iOS 8, okay, 5 updates from iOS 8 to, let's see, from iOS 8 up to iOS 3.2. And it has been let's see here. That from iOS 8 to iOS 13.2, the encryption has been updated each time there was an update. These phones are becoming more and more driving law enforcement nuts. In the courts, nuts. And it is that legality. It's driving the government nuts. Even law enforcement, because the owner of the device ain't stupid. They put passcode or a thumbprint on their device because they ain't stupid. They've seen these Snowden revelation. Things changed over time. Companies like Silent Circle and Geeks Phone, when they made the black phone, they made it where that you got control of your privacy back. You got control back. And a lot of these new phones coming out, they're becoming more and more and more secure. Let's see here, a message here. Okay, but it is insane that here you're trying to fight to keep your privacy, keep yourself private, even on your device. Okay, even on your device. And now we got the tech companies look like they're besides the device, tech companies are going on a limb here. That limb is getting smaller and smaller every day. Now, again, the legality, the legal, and not the legal acknowledgement of security and privacy. There's a lot that happened since then. For 10 years, WikiLeaks have leaked information on what's happening over the last number of years. Is it scary? Yeah, it's scary. It's terrifying, by the way. It's terrifying, because when I was growing up, and I was born around the bicentennial. No, the centennial, I think. The bicentennial, 200-year anniversary of our country. Not of the day, but of the year. I was born early January of '76, New Year's Day. I'm a New Year's bastard. I'm more of a New Year's kid. I didn't know enough until I got older. Over time, started to understand more of what I didn't know about. Iran Contra bullshit. Didn't know about Bill Clinton's philandering but over time I started to realize, but I didn't know about video games. I was an Atari kid, Listen here. This is my Atari hat. This is my Atari hat. This is a retro Atari hat. I wore this a lot, and it's collecting a little bit of dust. But this is a retro Atari And when I got that, I was like, dude, I'm gonna wear this hat a lot because growing up we had Atari, and Atari came. What was the? It was the Xbox and PlayStation of its time until Nintendo came around, and Nintendo from around 84, 86, right around there when the entertainment system came out, and it was huge back then. And you don't see very much of Nintendo very much because Microsoft and Sony took over the video game market. Just like Android took over the cell phone, the smartphone market because it has expanded to different companies that use their software. Motorola, BlackBerry, Alcatel, HTC, LG, Samsung, and Sonic Circle is using the Android, but it's more modified. BlackBerry is using the Android, but it's also modified. Boeing, the airplane company, built their own phone, Boeing Black, also using the Android, but it's more modified to be secure. So cell phone companies are coming out with new phones each and every year, more secure than the other, because government officials, I mean, if you work in government, you need a phone that's highly encrypted, basically protected information, government information. So during World War II, during the Olympics, the Nazi troops would spy on athletes from their countries, especially the United States. They would search their rooms while they're gone, read their mail while they're gone. Invasion of privacy is what it is. And this is where here in the United States, where a search warrant would need to be used, signed by a judge, and the judge would need evidence of the reason why for the search warrant. I came across a video that was about, I think, a couple of years old, where a sheriff said that he didn't need a search warrant. Arrest warrant is like a search warrant. No, arrest warrant is a warrant to arrest somebody. A search warrant is a warrant to search someone's property, home, computer, their vehicle, and and their phone. And Google has been known to defy and obey, well, defy, but also voluntarily hand over information to the FBI, to the CIA, to the NSA, but in best of my opinion here, that if you're a company that owns the software that's on people's phones and their tablets and whatnot, you should be up there with Apple, protecting consumers, rights, right to privacy, right to not be um, tracked. I mean, this is where it gets really hazy and shit. Really, really hazy. Because when Apple iPhone came out during the first number of years, first 5 years of it, Apple's been tracking people's locations. Okay. There's a video that I watched a good couple times. Well, more than a couple times. It shows how to keep Apple from tracking you. You turn off the track. You turn off the part of the phone that doesn't track you. Okay. Same thing with Google. How do you keep them from tracking you? Go in there, shut things down. Now with the iPhone, you set it up where only to you while using this app. Can't track you. Same with the iPhone. The Android phones, you don't give permission. You deny permission. And it is a point that you need to do that. You don't need to be followed, tracked, or whatnot. It's your privacy that, it's your privacy. Now, there was a story that Apple is helping law enforcement to keep people from filming officers, which violates the First Amendment, which hasn't been done because it's the First Amendment right. Freedom of speech, freedom of the press. You don't need a press pass to be a citizen journalist. You can run a blog or a vlog or a podcast, by the way. And when it comes to your privacy, you still have protection under the Fourth Amendment on your device. But also, you have a right to encrypt your device. You own the phone. Now, here's a story that my son came across. My son and I talked here a while back. My son bought one of the new iPhones, and he bought it on eBay. The person he bought it from totally wiped it to factory standard here, and something went wrong or something like that happened, and he went to the Apple store here in Fresno because there's only one in town, and then he needed help. He went to the Apple store. He told them that he bought it on eBay from the person that was Apple certified, and they couldn't help him because he bought it secondhand. So what happened there? Okay, they said to my son, "That's not your phone." Even though he clearly bought it, he had evidence, he had proof that he bought it. He owned the phone. And this is from somebody that doesn't know crap about technology, about phone, in my opinion, you have to know your shit on technology, especially smartphones and shit like that, especially iPhone. You have to have the understanding. But my son can be a smartass. I'm a smartass, but he talked things that this person did not understand. And my son is tech savvy, and he's a learner. He's a sponge. He understands things. For 20 years old, for being a Gen Z dude, a Gen Z person. So, I mean, you have to really know your shit to have a job at Apple or Microsoft or at Google or whatever. And also, as a law enforcement officer, you have to know and understand the Fourth Amendment, what it means. As a law enforcement officer, whether you're a officer or a deputy, you have to understand the Fourth Amendment. You still need to have a warrant to search the person's device phone. Just like you gotta have a warrant to search the home, vehicle, or computer. The warrant is there for a reason. You cannot make up shit to go around the Fourth Amendment. You have to abide by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. You need to get a warrant signed by a judge. Plain and simple. No bullshit, big time, peg time. And if you ain't down with that, we got 3 words for you. Go fuck yourself. All right, folks, this is good old Grandmaster Evan here. Well, I want to thank you guys for listening and watching the Anonymous Liberty Media on YouTube and Anchor on the podcast. I am Grandmaster Evan. Again, if you're on YouTube, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below, and do not forget to hit the bell for notification. And if you got this transmission, you are the resistance. I'm Grandmaster Evan. Thanks for watching and listening. Knowledge is free. If you ain't down with that, we got 3 words for you. Go fuck yourself. Peace out. I'm Revan. You're not. Fuck you. I'm out.